Okay, I think I got it. This is a 3D printed camera. Well, these parts are going to be mostly 3D printed camera. This one in particular is the Goodman Zone. It's a kind of open source camera that they have out there that you can go ahead and 3D print yourself. I have always enjoyed cameras. If you follow the channel, you know that. And I've been recently getting into 3D printing, so going through this was a no-brainer. To be honest and super transparent, trying to figure out exactly how to put this together has been kind of confusing. It's pretty straightforward, but it's not at the same time. There aren't really any hard instructions exactly. I guess if you do buy the pieces printed out, it might come with something, but as far as her website for the open source. All right, I'm just gonna cut in here. Today is March 15th, 2025, and it is late in the evening. I am editing stuff and I did notice something. Dora Goodman website is currently down. I did go through a few websites to double check that, and it is fully down for everyone. So with that being a fact as of this moment, and I haven't seen any change in activity in the last hour or two, I will say that there's a possibility that the site is down for good, because it seems like she or whoever currently owns the website has not really been doing anything with it. We haven't seen anything from this company directly, so if you are looking to go there as of today, March 15, 2025, you can't do that. Now, if you are looking for information, check out the Facebook group, check out the Discord group, they'll help you out. If I have any updates, I'll try to update in the future. The Facebook group and the Discord group, it's still not 100% there. Definitely join the Discord group. There's a lot of good information. Is where I got my fine details, and I haven't seen anything on YouTube or anything like that of how exactly to put this together. Maybe I'm not searching right. We're going to be putting together this Goodman Zone medium format camera, and we're going to be putting back together a 3D printed back for this because I didn't want to go ahead and buy it. I wanted to do as much myself as possible. There's a part list online. Go ahead and start with that, and we're going to go from there. Before we get into this, I do have a quick question for you. It's just an experiment I'm kind of conducting on my own. What is the name of my channel? And what is this video about? And do your best not to cheat. Just drop it down in the comment if you knew it, if you didn't know it. Now, the reason that I'm asking is I've been seeing a lot of people saying stop doing introductions, don't introduce your video. They're clicking on it, they already know what it is, but for me, I've always done that. So I'll give you a few seconds here to go down and drop your comment, but we're gonna go ahead and do that anyway. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing all right. My name is Matt, this is Dwyer.Creatives. Today we're gonna be going over how to build your very own 3D printed medium format camera. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch this to mainly a top down, and hopefully I can cover it as best as I can. If you have any questions along the way, drop that down in the comment section too, and if I'm doing this wrong, let me know. This is gonna be like my first build through of it, so as I said, not 100% forward with what's out there, so hopefully this clears it up. All right, so here we go. Just to kind of go over some of the parts you'll need. Allen keys, you need a 3mm, 2.5, and a 1.5. I have this little electronic screwdriver. It has most of the parts in it, so I have that out. And then also you're gonna need a regular screwdriver. I'm using this one that I have for my everyday carry kit. 3D printed parts. This is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need the body here, which is the main piece. There are a few different versions out there. Pick your favorite one. You have this adapter ring for the lens. If you want, there are accessories out there. This just happens to be one of the grip variants. And then I have just the little viewfinder. We're gonna see how useful that is. So you need 6 3M by 10mm Allen socket head. Yeah, this is all gonna be in there, right? So you have the 3M by 12, you have the 4M by 20, you have the 3M by 6, which are these. Of course, you have your 3M nuts, your 4M nuts, your 1/4 to 3/8 converter screw, and then you have these things, what are these? 3M by 12 socket flathead point screws, and these are the 3M by 6 Allen socket cone set screws. So that's what we have here. You're gonna need a lens to go with it. I just got this, ordered mine off of eBay. Luckily, I found one here in the US, so I didn't have to wait for shipping all the way from Japan. A lot of good options. That's actually dented. That shouldn't affect it. Anyway, I chose to go with the 100mm at 3.5. I really wanted the, I think it's 2.8, but it was like $200-300 more. I actually found this relatively good price, so definitely check eBay, do your research. But yeah, let's just dive straight into this. What I want to do is, I want to start with the 3M screws here. We're going to start with the 7 3M by 12s. You want the 3M ones, but the one that's a little bit longer, the 12 millimeters. And what you're gonna need are the 3M nuts. And what we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have one additional point here on the bottom. Let me go ahead and get these in here real quick. You have those in there, they're on there good. These two are gonna be holding this, which is gonna be my viewfinder. So I want to actually go ahead and take these out and put that on there. That was my mistake right there. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew that, hold that kind of on there. And I'm just getting everything roughly hand done for the moment. I just like to do it hand threaded just to get these things started. Of course, I guess you could go ahead and use your tool if you wanted to. Next, we're gonna go to the M4. You're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, all of these are gonna be with the M4 nuts that are on the inside. No, what we're gonna do actually, we're gonna skip to this. So for these screws, these are, so if you wanna hook it up to a tripod or whatever, we're gonna go ahead and do these first actually, just to get them out of the way. I have this little wear screwdriver. Simply, we're just gonna go ahead and put these in real quick just to get them out of the way. Hand tight, good to go. Do the one on the bottom or the side, or this is the side, this is the bottom. So go ahead and put this in here. Now for the M4 screws, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are gonna be your attachment ones. For me, I'm putting the handle over here. That's where I would do that. Now, if you can see inside here, you have 1, 2, 3, come on light, work with me. 3 and 4, those are where your M4 nuts are gonna be. And then same thing for up front. 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are where the M4s are gonna be for that. Now, these M4s are for when you have your lens, you wanna line the red up to the top. You have this little notch right here. That's where you're gonna line that red dot to, just to help keep the lens steady. This will go over it, and then you have 1, 2 set screws. Kind of show you, for me, when I was trying to do this earlier, just to make sure I understood, I thought this would fit a little bit more snug, but it's not, it's pretty loose. I'm gonna start on these 4 outside M4 first. Now for this one, I know that I'm gonna put that over there, so I'm gonna start with these 2 right here. So let me go ahead and set these M4 up. The most difficult aspect of this is getting these in here. The lighting, camera, okay. So you can see the M4 nut right there. I'm just feeding this through, and I'm just gonna put this pretty much all the way through because I don't have an accessory for this right now, which that kind of sticks out a little far. And flip this the other way. Try to get some light in there. You ever play those games as a kid where you're trying to like pop it into the little thing, make a design or whatever? They like little small squares, kind of like this. Little kids games you get super cheap. That's what this reminds me of. 4s on the side. I'm just gonna leave those like slightly hand snug. I am wondering if that would affect the image, if those would be in it. All right, now to the other side real quick. We're gonna use these M4s again. A little bit different. We have the handle that we're going to be going through. And this is where the tool will be nice to use. I had the right piece in there. We have a handle and 4 ones for the lens. What I want to do is, before I put the lens on, I want to go ahead and get my other M3 set. I still have this one longer. This is the M3 by 12, I believe. And we're just gonna go ahead and stick this in here. Now, for this, it's gonna be that one on, that random one that's kind of by itself on the bottom. Right here is where that M3 nut dropped in, and then twist it on. What we're gonna do is go back over to these M3s. These are M3 by 10. Now, hypothetically, They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inside here, you have the top, right? This is the top facing me. You have 1, 2 on the side, 1, 2, and on the other side, 1, 2. That's where you're gonna go ahead and drop these M3 nuts, and simply just go ahead and drop them in there, and we're gonna use these M3x10s to go in there. So let me go through and put these sides on real quick. Once you get it feeded, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Got one there. Now with the top two, you're gonna be putting on your front viewfinder. If you wanna use these or hot shoe, whatever, there's different attachments you can do. But same thing, you're just gonna go ahead and drop these in and just add that extra piece when you're fitting this on here. So I have the handle on those, and we're gonna go ahead and add the lens now. Add the little grip there. What I might actually do is go ahead and get these nuts seated first in here, so I'm not bopping around trying to do that. All right, so I have all 4 of those seated. What I'm gonna do is try to hand thread these in here just to get them started so they don't move around, and hold those M4 nuts in place. I mean, I guess technically you don't even need to have it on there while you're doing this. I have the 4 screws on there, loosely done. I want to try to line the red line up with that straight line. I'm just gonna have it sit there for the moment. So let me grab 2 M3x10s. Besides, if you don't have a 3D printer and the plastic on hand, I feel like this hardware was the most expensive. I bought them in different little kits because I figured I'd be using them for other things along the way, other projects, but you can buy them relatively individual. All right, so I have those in there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and screw these in the rest of the way. Here we go. This is camera minus the back. I have the camera built right here, but I just want to go over a few little things that maybe would help. So inside there, you can see like that is an M3, that's an M4, and you can see that you just kind of drop it in. These M4s are a little bit harder to get. You have M4, M4. These are going to be for the accessories. On the other side, M4 and M4, and then again, those 4 M4s on the corners. You have the M3s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 here on the back. Those are easy to get the nuts in. You just drop them in, and then of course you use those ones to get this back focus. Now, tilt this up there. You have 2 more M3 nuts. That's to do that front focus area. Now on the side, not really sure the purpose of these. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course you have that 7th one that goes with these 6. Now you can see on the side there, you just drop it in, 1, 2, you have 3 and 4. The accessory, you can see those M4s, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now here on the front, you have the M4s, 1 on each corner, right? You have a set screw, which I swapped these out for the M3x10. Same thing for right there. And then you want to do your best. Under here, you have that red dot, line that up. A few little notes. I went ahead and printed out the magazine back that will hold the film. So that's 3D printed. I didn't have to go out and buy one. I was trying to do this relatively as cheap as possible. Staying on that, trying to keep a relative budget. For the press lenses, they're going to be Mamiya. As I said in the beginning, I really wanted to do that 100mm 2.8. That's going to be your fastest one you can choose from. I'm probably going to be opening that up to get a good zone camera, right? Anyway, check out the different lenses. There's a lot of different options. I want to say that with the back, there are 2 versions of this. Hopefully that magazine back that I printed out will work with this. We'll find out. But you have this is the Mamiya Pro S back and not the Pro SD back. They do have an alternative version for that, so definitely check that out too. Just a few notes that I thought about as I was building this. Inside, I chose to go with the stainless hardware just because that was easy to find. If you're taking photos that may be reflective. Also, I went with a mix of PLA and PLA+. I started with PLA and then switched to PLA+. So I might go ahead and print out another one just in PLA+. I might want to do a matte version of it because of the reflective nature of the plastic. You can see it's kind of shiny. So when you let light in, that may affect the images. I'll probably have to go through a roll to figure that out. So you have 2 options, go with the matte, or I guess you could spray the interior with something matte so it's not as reflected or something like that. I know a lot of people talk about different printable materials. For me, I'm using the Bamboo A1 Mini. I was able to print this body out, no issues. For all the parts, I did have to do a few different plates for it just to be able to print everything out because it's a lot smaller, but you are able to do this on a smaller printer. If you are looking for any of these links, I'll drop them all below. You can probably do some of these like hardware items a little bit cheaper if you look, but I went ahead and bought like bigger items so that I could use for other projects. I wasn't just like, oh, I need this one 3M x 10, so I'm only gonna buy that. I bought a kit that had like 3M x 10, 3M x 12, 3M x 20, just so I could have a variety for future projects. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments, and I guess let's go ahead and put together the film back and see how everything fits and lines up. I think I have all of the pieces, the PDF up in front of me. We have the main piece, we have part of the back, part of the slide, we have the handle for the slide. This is a short slide, so I think if you didn't want to use the long one, you could use this one. You just have to note that it would be always open. We have this piece, which I'm not really sure what goes to. We have the top, door hinge. We have 1 and 2. So these are gonna be like the little turn. I don't know, anyway, I have 2 of those, so we'll make 1 work. You do need 2 empty spools, which I'm just gonna go ahead and print if I can't find any. 2 of these round ones, 1 for the cover, 2 of these little square things. And then for the hardware, you're gonna need 9 magnets. So these are D4 by 2. We're gonna super glue those in. We have 8 M3 nuts. M3 by 10, we have 2. I think these are supposed to be opposite. So we have the thumb screw and then we have the countersink. So I need to go ahead and pull 2 more of those real quick. 2 more of these countersunk ones, so they're gonna be flat. We're gonna be using this for glue, should work. I think I have everything here now. And let's just go ahead and start putting this together. We'll start with the main body. So let's go kind of numerically, I guess the top pieces. So this is piece 1. We have 2 of these. This one has that like little arrow in it, so that's gonna go here. This one's gonna go here. And they're different sizes. I don't know why that is. I might have printed the wrong file. And then you have also the 2 thumb screws. So those are super easy. Those are just gonna go right in the top here. Underneath here, this is how it's gonna be, I guess. You have this, and then you're gonna have this in here. On these little circles, you see a little indent in here. We're just gonna line those indents up to the indents on the spool, I guess, to lock that in there for one side. Yeah, just snaps over it to kind of lock it in. Find where those indents are and just pop it in there. There we go. Both of those are on there. These will go in here and this will go into the top of the spool, so when you turn it, it actually turns. I guess we'll leave those off for now. These are gonna go on to the top of here. These are supposed to go in here, which they obviously do not fit. So I might have to get a soldering iron and push those in there, so that might not be doable at this moment. So let's move on to in there and leave the thumb screws off of this. We'll have this little flat bar. Looks like you have, if you can see, like this little wedge shape the cut here on the side facing outward so that it would actually fit in there like that. We're going to go ahead and drop an M3 into each of those. So 2 of them, one there, one here. We'll hold that up, and what goes into that? One of the 4, so one of these flat ones. Let's go ahead and put this back piece together. Super simple. Now here you're gonna have, if you can see, like this edging. You want the edging facing, I guess it would be myself if you have this facing like that. We're gonna put this on the back side. And this is simply gonna use 2 of the M10s. So we have the M10s here. A little nut on it. So on the bottom of this, you have 2 of these M3 nuts. You have one here and one here. And then going into those, you're gonna be using those countersunk. So these 2, these are the M3x12. This is why these instructions aren't the greatest. We have this little piece of red plastic. All that's gonna go in there so you can see your counter. And I need to add a tiny bit of glue to that. Now it's saying that there should be a tiny little cutout here, which there isn't for the magnet. So that may be an issue, but we're gonna go ahead and put this together as it is. So what we're gonna do is take this little red piece and we're gonna glue it in there real quick. This gets super messy, super quick. So I'm gonna do my very best to get this in there. What we're gonna do is go ahead and take 2 of these M3 nuts, drop them in there. Now it does say that you're supposed to put a magnet here somewhere. I don't have an option for that, so we're gonna leave that out for now. So we're gonna take these 2, and just feed them in there. Honestly, there aren't too many more pieces after that. On the back here, we have the little cover, which this, make sure it's facing the right way. Hypothetically, you should just be able to move it down when you're not needing it and put it back when you do need it. And you're gonna put little magnets in this. So you just wanna make sure that when you do this, they're connecting the way they're supposed to. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a tiny bit of this glue. I'm sure if you used a glue gun or something, it might work a little bit better than this, but we're gonna try this out. I need to add 3 more here. That to the side, and I'm gonna drop these in, and I just wanna make sure that I am dropping the same way. So I want the side that's facing up to go down. Now that we have most of this put together, these 2 squares are again gonna go in here. I think I'll go ahead and glue those in right now, or just in a second. I need to heat these up to press them in here. And then you would add thumb screws, select that on top. I guess what you would do is go ahead and put one spool, get it kind of fed. You drop your spools in, it would kind of go behind here. It's not really a whole lot of flexibility. I don't know if you would have to loosen these to put a new roll in, so this would be like a single roll usage. Go ahead, put your thumb screws in, and then once you have that, this is gonna kind of sit on the back here so that you open it when you're ready to take your exposures, you close it for the rest of the time. No, let me just go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and glue these in here. I don't know if they're supposed to be glued in here, but that's what we're gonna do. I'm trying to figure this out kind of as I put it together. So we have this now in a few different pieces. I have the 2 thumb screws. I have that extra piece right here, magnet right here. Not really sure. On the graphic, the PDF, it does show a place for it. On the printable, it does not. Now, I also have this as a hinge for the camera. My thought is these M4x20s 3/8 would go over this, and that's on the side. You would have the hinge. The PDF doesn't say anything about that, so I'll have to, I guess, look more into this. So I might not even add this into it. This might just be like a little bonus of me rambling trying to put this together, because this is not working out the way I thought it would. So when you're done, this is kind of what you would have. You do have a door hinge, as I said, I guess on the side, so you can open it. But then again, if this is single use, because of how you have to get to the film, you have your exposures and then that would be it. But when you go ahead and take your photos, you slide it open. When you're done, you go ahead and close it. I just as like an extra layer of protection. Hopefully this works out well. So I did print out the short one, which would go into the same slotting. Okay. With this all the way open, with using this short one, it kind of does fit on there better. You will go ahead and tighten your M3 screws here to kind of just like lock it on. You don't want to be too tight, and this is where you want to just like maybe consider, or probably consider some light sealing maybe around the edges, just so you ensure that you don't get any light leakage. So there you go, that's how it would look. Turn here, turn here. So you go ahead, get everything set. Where do I want to do? You would go ahead and take your photo, click. When you're ready, you would take this, simply move it down so you could see the counter. Go ahead and turn your film over. And then yeah, line up your next shot and keep going. Now because I'm using the shorter, I don't have this in there, I can't close it up. So like you want to make sure that you get it all wrapped up in there when you're done. And just be careful, you might want to even unload this in a dark bag for the siding, but it didn't say anything about a hinge. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research and figure out how exactly this goes. Let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. So for the back, so when you go ahead and attach it, you just want to be careful when you're locking it on. You don't want to damage that magazine back. Just take care of your gear. This is going to be something that is a project. Obviously, it may not work right the first time. You may have to fine tune it a little bit. If you come across any major issues, let me know. Head over to the Facebook group and Facebook 3D printing camera group, and not necessarily the Goodman one. The Goodman one's kind of dead. The Discord, definitely check out them. They're super helpful. A lot of information out there, as I said. So there you go. That's my 3D printer of the Goodman Zone. I have a few other ones that I'm going to want to do in the future. Of course, I'm going to throw a few rolls through this. I'm going to have to collect a few more lenses to get a really good fill. I do think that the one thing I will add to this though, that I don't have right now, is going to be a remote shutter. I have one somewhere for my TLR. I know I have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. And if you look right here, there are attachment points. You can go ahead and buy the inserts for it, press them in, use like a soldering iron or something, just to really press them in there. That way you can add things like a camera strap or maybe more accessories or whatever you want to do. So there you go. All my links, affiliate links that help support the channel, no extra cost to you, and any other thing that I think that might be helpful, I'll drop all of those down below. If you could, I would greatly appreciate it. Do all the stuff that you know what to do. Subscribe, like this video, drop a comment. Let me know, are there any 3D printed cameras that you're interested in seeing? Because I'm always looking for new ideas or camera related items. I do have a few on my list, but we'll get there when we get there. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this up. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.